Cyclone season means that we just get the extremes of the weather. It is almost midnight. We were just about to go to bed and a huge thunderstorm just rolled through.
The time has come to deal with the cabin of bad ideas.
We were thinking some kind of like tent formation that lets the wind in and scoops it but shades the sun. I don't know.
A few things to ask about.
Look at all this space. Every time we go past the port, we get excited because our engines are going to be here any minute.
Last time on Red Seas, we settled back into life in Tahiti and started to see what it meant to live in the South Pacific during cyclone season. We ventured inland and found a ridiculous hike to French Polynesia's tallest waterfall. We crossed rivers, got mildly lost in the jungle.
I'm not going to pretend I can see a path up here.
And ended up swimming in the rain. Now the work really begins as we prep for the imminent arrival of our brand new Nanni engines. But first, we have a few things to get ready.
All right, so a job we've been kind of putting off for a while now is we need some wood. Basically, we're gonna have to build some skis to try and get the engines out of the engine bay when the time comes. And I think we'll kind of just drag the engines up the skis and then out the engine bay. That's kind of the plan.
Yeah, I vaguely have a picture in my head of how it's going to work. And then I realize that there's like one massive component I've overlooked, or like I look at it from a different angle and I'm like, that's not going to fit.
Oh, that'll never work.
Hopefully it's going to all come together and work wonderfully.
Should be fine. The only problem is we don't carry large lumps of wood or end on the boat that often. So we need to go find some. So we're going to go and try and buy some. However, I don't know how to say I would like 2 large skis to drag an engine.
We can mime it, it's going to be fine.
Miming is always going to get us there. Plus, skiing is French, so they're going to understand. It's going to be fine. So I don't think we've really explained at any point, but the ride into town is like, I think it's like 10 minutes, straight dinghy ride at full speed. And it costs us about 1/8 of a fuel tank. So we're trying not to do it all that often. But I mean, when we do, it's quite fun because it's really flat behind the lagoon wall here, so we can just floor it.
Ready, let's go.
3, 2. The only thing stopping us just going on the runway for a walk is that yellow marker telling us not to get people.
Every time we go past the port, we get excited because our engines are going to be here any minute! Well, in like a week. So usually when we come into Phifertex, we go into the marina over here and use the dinghy dock because then you can just walk straight into town. But that is quite a long way out to the hardware store, and we have heard a rumour that there is another dinghy dock kind of much, much closer to this end of town. We've never seen it, we can't find it on the map, but we figured if we're quick, we might have time to head around this way and have a look for it, and then if we can't find it, we'll just have to come back and use the one we normally do. But hopefully it means that we don't have to walk like idiots like through town, holding huge, big, long pieces of wood with everyone staring at us.
The only issue is that half of this harbour area is naval. And so if we just dinghy dock up to like a destroyer, sorry, dinghy up to destroyer, yeah, smiling, maybe they'll let us in. It works in other countries. It was fine in Trinidad-ish. From the map, I thought it would be roughly here, and I don't see any other dinghies or a dock, so.
No, I feel quite out of place here with all the huge tugboats and stuff.
I think we might be doing the long walk.
Oh no!
Okay, well, we tried. So that's the ferry that we saw way back in like Hiva-Oa or Nuki-Hiva, I can't remember where, in the Marquesas. That's the one that's half like cruise ship and half container ship. So I guess they drop off all their guests here and then they stockpile with resource to take back out to the Marquesas. Yeah,
I don't remember if we showed you guys when we saw it, but I feel like if we were ever going to do a cruise, that would have to be the kind of cruise we do, where you're basically on a container ship going to these weird and wonderful places.
I mean, there's so many options. I think we'll get away with just doing a 2x4, the long lengths. That should be enough. I've always found it weird that 2x4 isn't 2x4 though.
Well, especially here where they show you that it's not 2x4.
Yeah, 2 inches by 4 inches is 39 millimeters by 88. I feel like I'm being shortchanged.
So we've placed our order and then we have to go across the road to pick it up. And we only spent like $70, so that's better than I thought it was going to be.
A lot better.
Now we just have to face the reality of carrying it all home.
Pardon?
Ça va pas être trop lourd?
Yeah.
Nous devons marcher.
Parfait.
Okay, well, this is reminding me of getting the big lengths of aluminium in St. Martin for our solar panels. And here begins the walk. My shoulder is sore already. We should have thought about this and like brought little cushions or something. We never learn. Here comes the challenge that I have no idea if it's going to work or not. I think these pieces are 3 meters 60 long and our dinghy is not. Do you want me to take the end? Whoa, 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 whoa! Caught the camera. Perfect. I'll take this end, you take that end. Hope that you don't drag away. Nicely done.
The time has come to deal with the cabin of bad ideas. I've not been keeping a good state of this cabin for quite a long time. It's pretty much a bomb site. And unfortunately, in order to set up the engine hoists, we're going to need to get under the bed. And you're going to see why that might be a bit of an issue. Yeah, that. So yeah, the basic battle plan is going to be to try and clear everything that is on this bed and pretty much everything in this entire cabin out into the cockpit and probably take over the saloon, the kind of the table, the dining area, whatever you want to call it, up there. And basically, once we've gutted everything, we're going to get a bit more organized, put it all back in sensibly, because believe it or not, it didn't always used to look like this. This used to be quite organized. And then when our steering cable died, which is tucked in under there, everything got thrown all over the place in the middle of a big storm. We didn't really spend much time fixing it. And to be honest, we haven't had any time since then to tidy it all up again. It kind of just became this out of hand mess.
This is my favorite part of any kind of organization project, is literally just getting a bin bag and throwing stuff away. I've been kind of on a purge while we've been in Tahiti and we have access to bins and trash and stuff, because obviously in the Tuamotus, the islands are so tiny that we didn't want to leave our trash there. So yeah, being here and suddenly have access to get rid of stuff or to give it away to other people or sell it on or whatever is something that we don't get often. And so I am going a little bit mad with throwing things away.
Thank you.
Well, from up here, the floor looks amazingly clean. What are you doing now?
Just bailing.
Never a good sign from inside your home.
Turns out when you haven't been in this cabin for 3 years, like we haven't really used this bathroom ever,
No.
I don't think.
No, it's always been storage.
So we've had the drains all shut off and that's been fine. So we haven't had to worry about any water getting into the boat, except that I'm guessing there's either a small leak in the hatch up here or a lot of condensation. Or just, I don't know, just generally. This is the shower drain, but on this shower, the pump is broken. So, manual bail. Okay, so I jumped out to get some air because, to be honest, it's a pretty warm day. Whoa!
Suddenly looks like a room again.
It's like a whole new bathroom. Well done, babe.
Getting there. Now time to fill it out with stuff again.
Exactly, yeah. Hey, part of the fun. So I guess that leads us to the next question, which is, what do we put in there? So our theory was that if we took all the projecty bits and pieces and spare parts and tried to fill them in that room, then we can maybe just put tools up on the bed and in the shelves back here. Because then when it comes to fitting the engines, we can just obviously be using all the tools. So we're probably going to bring them all out anyway. And obviously tools is the thing we need access to like every single day. I think we have managed to pull out all of the tools. The cabin is starting to seem a little bit emptier. And we don't actually have as many tools as I thought we had. I'll be honest, I thought we'd have a mountain. We just have a molehill and some bits.
It clicked into
How
place.
on earth? You've got two living examples right next to it. In what world is this allowed? This is just wrong. I'm not picky about my tool storage, but...
Well, what's that bit for?
Space.
Oh, come on now. So this is where we're at now. We have cleared most of the things off the bed. There are still, it's just all the odds and ends and the random things that we need to figure out somewhere to put them. But the bathroom come store cupboard come workshop-y, I'm not sure what we call it now, is looking amazing.
Ta-da!
I mean, I know it still looks like a whole pile of stuff, but Ian's Tetris skills have absolutely come into fore, because that's most of the stuff from the bed all squished into one end of the room. Good job.
Just about. We're almost there. So I reckon we'll take a break because it's getting late and I'm really hot. And then tomorrow we can just wrap it all up. It'll be finished. The bed will be clear. The tools will probably be back on the floor. And we're good. And we're ready. And we can have engines and we can install them. We never even explained like what's under the bed.
Yeah, so this whole problem comes because we basically don't have any storage in our cabins. As demonstrated. A lot of people can lift up their beds and store loads of stuff in the space there. Our beds are high because underneath are our engines. So if we can lift up... The plan is that if we can remove or at least lift the mattress, there is an inspection hatch underneath that you can see just there. And hopefully that means that we can use it to lift the engines. Obviously the engine is not going to fit out of that tiny little hatch.
It's like this size.
But we need to lift it to be able to then like shuffle it out the back somehow. So basically, yes, getting access here will help overall.
And we have got a plan and we are going to share it with you as we get to it because frankly we'll find out if the plan's going to work and then we'll share it with you. We're slowly chipping away at this one problem at a time.
It is almost midnight. We were just about to go to bed and a huge thunderstorm just rolled through. So we've had to like hide all of the tools that we left outside under a tarpaulin. The cushions already got wet, so they just got lumped on top. But yeah, never been more thankful for the rain curtain because mostly we're dry. We're like chasing around the drips and seeing where the little gaps are. So there's some adjustments I want to make. But wow, that one was fun. Good job on sealing the window.
I'm so pleased. So there was a gap in the storm maybe what? An hour ago? Maybe an hour and a half ago. And one of our saloon windows, we haven't really told you guys about this because it's a bit of a shameful thing, but basically whenever it rains, it's as if there's no glass there. It's a common problem in this type of boat. A couple other channels who have this boat or similar boats have reported it as well. And so I ran out with some stuff which we actually got back when we were in Trinidad and fitting copper coat. And you remember we made that big tarpaulin tent around the whole boat? Well, this is the tape we used, which is like a heat shrink tape, and it doesn't damage gel coat. So I ran outside and I just like seamed the whole window, and it's held out to that so ridiculous storm.
Yeah.
So until there's like bits of tape flapping in the wind, we seem to be waterproof again, which is a big deal because, yeah, we didn't show you, but literally we have like buckets collecting a large amount of rainwater sitting in the footwell of the stairwell.
Yeah, this is very, very much the middle of cyclone season now. So we've been lucky with no like crazy scary winds coming through, but it rains like this more and more frequently, at least a couple of times a week. So
is this a cyclone?
If this is a cyclone, then we've got away very, very lightly. We're just kind of watching out. There's two boats nearby that are like swinging slightly close to us, but fingers crossed, nothing will happen. Well, the rains have stopped, the storm has passed, we've survived the night, and now we are just straight back to it. So hopefully on the final stretch of clearing out this cabin, Ian has been sorting out the little things on the bed, and yeah, fingers crossed, we are nearly there. How's it going this morning? But if I lift the camera up, we can see more bed.
I can see the back wall. I guess that's an improvement. A few things to ask about. Right?
I can say that they're not mine. In fact, I know exactly what they're from, and they are all your fault because
Yeah.
These are probably so rusty that the keys don't work.
I hadn't checked that.
I've told you about Ian bringing his electric skateboard on the boat before, right? For all the times that you've used it. And no, I am fighting you, locking me to the cabinet now. These are what he used to block his skateboard with in the middle of the city. So A, clearly very important to bring a skateboard with you on a boat, but B, we're definitely going to need to lock it up when you go to shore.
Security
Why
purposes.
did you bring these?
Security, look, that's safe.
Well, now I can't help with any of the tidying, so good luck with that.
Now you're in the right location, you can help with the tidying.
And I think we're done!
It's finished! We've actually managed to somehow reclaim almost an entire cabin.
There's space again, and we're going to be able to lift that up and actually get an engine out of here. I don't think I've seen this looking like a bed in
Since we moved
years.
on board.
I almost didn't know there was a mattress here, but look at all this space!
Did I clean that mattress? This has been a mission, right? So all of this...
Last little detail.
It's fine, it's nothing. All of this has just been so that we can get access to that guy there.
Which, now that I look at it, I feel like the hatches are broken off, so I don't know if we can open it from up here. We might need to go into the engine bay and push up from beneath. There's supposed to be like a catch there and there, but that is very much mangled, as if it's been like hacked off in an emergency. Didn't know that before. But yeah, this will open up and then we can see the engine through there and we can lift it and it'll all be wonderful. That's the vague plan.
Roughly, sort of vaguely.
That's as good as we can hope for.
I'm sure somebody told me that the engine lined up to the hatch above, but it doesn't look like it will.
No, that really doesn't.
Huh. Okay, well, more to learn.
Do you think we just spent like an entire day clearing out this cabin for absolutely no reason?
Yep.
I have one more boat job that I want to work on before our engines arrive. So we've mentioned that it's like the height of cyclone season right now. You saw the storm that came through the other night and we were sort of catching the drips from all the leaks in the boat. Well, if I show you this window, Ian has put all of this tape around the outside, which doesn't look great, but it was very, very effective in stopping water coming in. So I want to cover this up so that you don't notice it. It is a temporary solution, but it's going to be a while before we're able to actually replace the windows. So in the meantime, I just kind of want to not see that repair. But also, cyclone season means that we just get the extremes of the weather. So we have these huge rainstorms, but then a lot of the time it is just absolutely boiling hot. And we've never had window shades on here to keep the temperature down inside. The studs are all around the outside. So it clearly had them at some stage in a previous life, but it's never been something that we've got round to. However, we have a new plan. Someone called Jeff got in touch with us a little while ago. He saw that we had made rain curtains for our cockpit enclosure, but we didn't have enough sunshade fabric, and he wanted to send us some. So these huge rolls have now arrived, and I have been going a little bit crazy making a million sunshades for the boat. It's been amazing. And today I want to make huge side shades because A, it's going to just drop the temperature inside so much, but with this mesh we'll still be able to see out as much as our crazed windows will allow, and it will also hide our temporary repair with that tape and hopefully make the boat look a little bit kind of newer and shinier. So I've just cut this as one big piece. I'm just going to do it as a single shade for the whole window, and I've cut the rough shape. I think I'm going to make it slightly smaller than where the original screws were, like the poppers, because that just seems like it's going to look really massive. I could do it that size, but I think it'll look neater if I make it a little bit smaller. And then all I'm going to do is just fold in these edges and sew once around the outside of the hem, and it should be done. So a fairly simple project, and it shouldn't take too long. So I've put some tape markings around where I want the edge to be, and I've folded it and I've pegged it in place. I'm going to try and keep these corners as curved and nice as possible. But I am going to have to get a little bit creative on the back here, because usually with mesh, you can just fold it over once and sew it, and it's not going to fray, so it's not going to unravel. But this is actually PVC coated fiberglass. So when you have these raw edges here, you can see some of the fiberglass sticking out. It perhaps looks a bit untidy, but it also starts to like make my hands a little bit itchy and things. So I want to make sure that is all encased and hidden and protected. So I've got some scraps of dark blue sunbrella. Nothing on our boat is dark blue. These came from a friend. So I've never wanted to really use it in anything that's going to be visible. But if I put this on the back, I can cover up the raw edges and make that hem seam thing a little bit neater. So that is what I'm going to try and do. I can just cut this umbrella with a hot knife, which kind of seals the edges, and then it means that the hemming is slightly easier because I just cut it it melts the edges so it's not going to fray, and I don't have to worry about folding in any kind of hem on that. So it should be fairly simple, she says, crossing her fingers. And I'm just going to do all of this umbrella in just these little tiny pieces from the scraps, because it's not really going to be visible from the front because it's this dark blue colour. It hardly shows through. In true Red Sea style, we ended up working really late into the night, but we got both of our window shades finished, so we thought we would show you in the morning what they look like, because last night we couldn't really see anything. Does it fit? That's the first question.
Absolutely it fits. Look at it.
Oh, that looks cool.
It's perfect. It's actually perfect. Plus, it makes a lot more sense showing a window shade in daylight rather than in the dark. There's not a lot of shade in the dark.
Not so much. It's really effective.
So we've got the studs here. These ones we're going to take out. We just need to then fill them, so I haven't taken the old ones away yet.
Yeah, it will look slightly neater.
But we wanted it to be nice and close to the original window shape, which these ones aren't. So how's that?
Oh, I like it.
It's so good.
It like covers up all of the sort of the marks and the crazing and the scuffs and everything else. And it's like, oh, it looks shiny new.
It makes the boat look shiny. You're right. It makes it look really slick, which is cool. And as we know, the shading, which you're going to see in a second, is phenomenal. So all of a sudden, we're not going to have like sunburns from sitting inside.
I know, right? Yeah, the temperature inside should come right down.
Seriously cool. And then we've got this one for the other side, right?
Yeah, slight confession to this one. We actually ran out of pop stud thingies. So I've made the shade and we can hold it in place, but we can't actually attach it to the boat. So if it, I don't know, I was going to say we could move this one to the other side, but no, we can't.
No.
If it's sunny on that side, we'll just have to like tape it in place, or you can stand there and hold it.
I was going to say you could, and I'll do the work inside.
We can hold it up and see what it looks like.
Take turns.
And it fits.
It actually fits. It's going to look great. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks so good. And then also, it covers up all of the white tape, almost, that I wanted to cover up. So, double win.
Win, win, win. It looks cool. It's going to keep us shaded, and it hides the scuzziness of our old, broken, leaky windows.
I'm not going to lie, I have been getting a little bit carried away with all of this sunshade fabric that Jeff sent us. I've started making covers for these front windows. I didn't want to make the whole boat black. So I've tried to be super subtle, and I don't think you can hugely tell. If you look between these two windows, there is currently a shade on this one and not on that one. So the only difference is that you can still see the silver surround of the port light in behind. So yeah, I think that's really cool. It got really fiddly. I was trying to then get more airflow, so I wanted to have like a little panel that pops away, and it got very complicated. So I'm kind of halfway done with these ones, but yeah, we'll take you inside and show you the difference because it's amazing.
Jeff did tell us that you can get this in white, but we said we wanted black. We were quite adamant. Or white or grey, I can't remember, but you can get it in other colours.
Yeah, he was saying that black was not the best choice for us, but we were a little bit determined. Sorry, Jeff.
Typical.
Looks cool, though.
Look at this.
Yeah, from here, you can totally see the difference. Like, this window here has a shade on it, and the opposite side doesn't. So that's how much brighter it is. And then
these ones are the other way around.
Yeah, so the one on the left has a shade, and then the one on the right doesn't. It's like darker, but it's like a tinted window. It's not like you're looking through a barrier. Like if I just take you up and show you this window, like you can still see through, and there's a shade on that. You can see it as I get really close with the camera, but from far away, you can just see through like normal. I love it. Okay, so to show you the difference between the side windows, because they're kind of like on opposite sides of the boat and the sun is somewhere, Ian's gone outside and he's gonna like hold the shade up, hopefully over like one window and not the other. Okay, which window are you covering?
I can't hear you, there's a party boat.
He can't hear me, so he's maybe gonna hold something up, we'll see. Yeah, that looks so good. So this has a shade on and this doesn't. It's completely whited out because it's so badly crazed and we can't see through it anyway. But now this is just like a tint. It's so good. In the camera, it's like you can see the lines a lot stronger than we can in real life. They're going a little bit crazy. That is so good. If you just stay there and hold it up forever, that's lovely, thanks.
It's getting windy. Okay, I was allowed back in just because Brownie has been incredibly busy over the last couple of days, and she made these as well.
So now, boom, everything is shaded.
How cool is this? So yeah, this is the silly one. We actually had this issue on passage. When we're traveling west, in the morning, the sun is in that corner, and it slams straight through into the saloon where we normally sleep if you drop that table and turn it into a bed. So you end up being woken up at 6 in the morning with the rising sun straight in your eyes, and then it kind of gets hotter and hotter. So we thought, having a sunshade there, we can just bring the whole temperature of the boat down, and it covers up the sun. And of course, we're going to make that side.
You've got to be symmetrical. And also, I'm so proud of how neat I made this so they tuck away and they don't get tangled in any of the lines.
You made this. This is a team effort.
It is, yeah. Ian really helped. Ian does the bangy holy bit, which is trickier now that he's thrown all the tools for that overboard.
And then once these are done...
How much can you see me?
I mean, I don't really, it's not focusing.
That'll be just like people going past in a dinghy. They can't see in, but I can see you just as perfectly as if you were standing here. It's cool.
Pretty much. So what I want to check though is we have a different shade going on the side right now. How do they compare?
Yeah, so the one that we had on the side was the original that I made from Phifertex. I can't remember if it is Phifertex or Phifertex Plus. So it's either like 70% or 90%, I think, of like UV reduction. These are supposed to be 80 to 90%. So I think the holes are the same size, but the lines on this black one are skinnier. So the gray, it definitely looks like you are looking through a film. Like you can see through it, but you're aware there's something in the way. Whereas this is way more like, it is just like looking through a tint. It's, I was gonna say way more not in the way. I do words. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's more subtle, that's a word. I think they look really, really cool. I like how neat they are when they roll away. And hopefully, when we're working really hard in the marine next week trying to fit new engines, the boat won't be like just crazy boiling hot on top of all of the work that we're doing. So that's the idea anyway.
Seriously coming together. The only issue is that we've shaded the cockpit wonderfully. I'm gonna be working in there the whole time.
Yeah, that is a challenge that I have not managed to overcome yet. I want to make some kind of sunshade that makes the engine bays slightly more pleasant. I've got no ideas. If you've got any ideas of how to do that. We were thinking some kind of like tent formation that lets the wind in and scoops it but shades the sun. I don't know.
All right, this was supposed to be a cool click video shot of all the tools going back in. I don't think that's working out
I'm
quite as
learning. No, I'm not. Put it in sideways and they're so rusty.
cleaning. All right, 3, 2, 1, make it look good.
Boom.